everybody. Just gonna pull up my page while it's sending out the notification that I'm going live. Oh, and I got a little pop-up on mine, so that should be good. Now I'm always paranoid about making sure I'm on the right page, because one time I was on my own personal page. Oh, where are we? This takes a minute to show up. So tomorrow night I'm gonna finish doing my lamp. So I've got the one side of the shade, and I'm gonna do the other side, which is blank. I'm gonna do that tomorrow night. I'll finish that off. Because I'm gonna do something else different in ink tonight. So let me go ahead and just move all my stuff out the way. So I can get to my inks. Okay. Oops. Oops. Okay. So I've got a couple different things that I pulled out just to work on. All right, let's see. Okay, it's going. So hopefully this is a better angle. I think you can see more of everything. Hopefully this way. All right, got all my little things. I was gonna go ahead and look and see what I wanted to do for boards. I'll show you a couple of different. So Couture has, because like you can see I did the lampshade. So you can do stuff on reusable surfaces or non-reusable surfaces. And you can do the chalk paste or the ink on them. Completely your choice. Just remember the ink is going to be permanent. And as you saw when I tried to do the pot holders yesterday, that stuff doesn't come up once it's on there. Once it's on there and dried, it is permanent. But I had grabbed a couple of different things out that we'll take a look at after. Okay, so two of the big non-reusable surfaces they have are the palette board and the burlap. What's it called? Burlap board. And I'll show you what those look like, because I'm going to do one of the signs on one of them tonight. So I got one of each to test it out. So this is the palette board. Comes like in an off-gray color. You can always paint it any color that you want. You can go either way. A lot of people will actually do this side of it, one way or the other, and take things like the little hearts. And because it's got a little ledge on this side, you can like balance little things in there, like the little hearts. Just a little something extra that some people do. We've got that one. And then the natural burlap board. I'll pull that one out. I haven't seen this one yet. So this one. And it actually feels, it's not, I mean, you put the lines in it. At first it looks like corduroy, but I mean, it doesn't feel like corduroy. But it does look like that kind of texture and feel like that kind of texture out of it. And it's got the little nails around the edge. Obviously the back side you're not going to use, but so those are two of the non-reusable. And with the palette board, honestly, if you wax this down and use chalk paste on it, likely you're going to be able to get the chalk paste off and reuse it over and over again. It's just not guaranteed to, like with the other boards, the black and white chalkboards. And then I did get this one too. I wanted to get a bigger board so I could do my C-size transfers on. So I did the one C-size transfer for the Heaven with the Botanicals collection the other day. And I wanted to get one of the Odette boards, which are white with black around the outside. So I got one that size so I could do both. So this is the Odette board. It's got the sawtooth hangers across the top. And this is a reusable surface. So you use chalk paste on this, it's going to come off and look like brand new when you get done. So those are just like three reusable boards, or one reusable and two non-reusable boards that you can do with the chalk paste. Don't put ink on the reusable ones because it's permanent and you want to be able to reuse them. That's the whole purpose of them. Okay, a couple different ones that I've got. I was trying to pick and decide between. One of them is the Endless Laundry Company, because laundry is never ending. And then I have a nice enclosed porch, so I was thinking about the Welcome to Our Porch one. But I also have a general store one. This one actually is temporarily unavailable. It's one of the new ones. But they found a defect in a couple of them, so they got rid of the supply that they had, and they're actually going to be sending me another one. But this one looks fine. I haven't tried it yet. I'll try it afterwards and see. So I was going to do another ink project. I'm just trying to decide if I want to use my burlap board for which side. I think the wood one for the porch it'll go nice on my front porch. Because actually I did like peel and stick tile on it for wood, is actually pretty much as good to match this. I think I'll do the Welcome to the Porch on this one, and then this one I'll end up doing the Endless Laundry Clothes. Wash and dry, fluff and fold, 24/7 open. I think that one will fit on there good. So, got a couple of those projects lined out. And obviously, I don't need to put anything underneath it for inking because it's good enough the way it is. Okay. So I probably should decide what kind of color I want. So my front porch, let's see, I've got like maroon furniture on it, but let's see. It's gray background, so I wanted to stand out. I think I'll do my black. I haven't gotten enough of the black yet. Okay, so first thing I'll do is trying to decide, because I didn't wax it down, I just took it out of the box. I might do a little test on it to see if I need to fuzz the transfer a little bit. I'm using ink, so I don't usually need to. But I want to make sure I get the transfer back off, because I want to be able to reuse it over and over again. Oops. Okay. I just want to see how sticky it's going to be to stick on the wood and come back up. So, since it's new, I haven't used it before. Just try to stick it on. Yeah, took up a little bit from the wood. So I do need to wax it. I don't want to ruin my transfer the first time out. Alright, I'm going to grab my, hold on a second, I'm going to grab my wax so I can go get it and then come back and wax it. I just got it over here on the side table. There's my wax. And look at my little cloth I put it on with. There it is. Can't miss it, it's bright yellow. Alright. I hate that there's a delay on there because now I'm just looking at an empty chair. Alright, so really any kind of like finishing wax, mini wax that you can get your hands on. Just to give it enough so that when you put stuff on, it pulls up easy, and you don't want to pull up, like I just pulled a little piece of the wood, the paint that's on the wood up. And I wasn't sure if I needed to transfer to do that or not. So I just put it on. I just put it on generously. You can usually tell by the color what it looks like, if you've missed any spots or not. Don't be afraid to put plenty on it. I'm trying to figure out what kind of wood I'm gonna go get to start making like the welcome door leaners and stuff like that. And I've got like a Bless Our Home one, and I'll do different like family names, crests, things like that. But I haven't made it to Lowe's yet. Maybe this weekend. It's just up the street. But I usually just look in the light and say, oh, did I miss any sections? If I'm not sure, I just go over it again. Better safe than sorry. People seem to like the lampshade that I did last night. I loved it. I figured it'd look good, but I didn't know it was gonna look that good. I've got it lit up behind me. I think you can see, yeah, you can see it. Side. I got stuff on hands. Okay. I mean, it does dry pretty quickly. I'm just going to set it to the side while I'm waiting for it to dry. And set this one over here. And I'll just do a little wooden one while I'm waiting for that to dry, and hopefully it'll be okay. Let's see, this one I got in the mail. The t-shirt one. Don't think I'm gonna need this cardboard tonight. This one's gonna be too big or not. I'm going to do a little chalk Couture logo on this one. This is the back side of when I did the country kitchen in chalk. Probably should just, I just can't decide which one I'm going to do because I realize I have not waxed this. And that was the whole point of me just waxing that one. Alright, it's a good thing I can back up. I like these bags to store my stuff back in, but sometimes they're a pain. Go to the next one in line. The one I know I will definitely be able to do, and I'll test out the general store one on my new 12x18 Odette board and my C general store transfer. So this one says open daily, general store, home goods, groceries, so good for like a pantry or kitchen area. So I'll make the mistake like I did before. I'll double check to make sure that my sawtooth hangers, they're on the bottom. So put it around so I can put them on the top. Unlike the other day where I can't have one up behind me because I didn't make sure my sawtooth hanger. It's driving me crazy though, so I'm going to end up taking the habit off and putting it back on the right way. So I will be using chalk paste for this because it's a reusable board. But this way I'll get a good chance to test out this general store one. They're going to be sending another one anyways when the new stock comes in. I'll see how it turns out. And since it's a reusable surface, I'm going to fuzz it up. There's all different ways you can take the bigger ones off, whatever you feel comfortable with, like this, because you don't want it to fold back in itself and stick. Some people pull a little bit up, put it on a towel, and then pull the rest of it apart as they're pushing it down. However you feel coordinated. So if you feel comfortable doing it, do it. Last night when I took the Paris transfer after doing the lamp and getting offline to the bathroom to wash it, by the time I got it to the bathroom sink, it was in a ball. Because it's, you know, obviously much bigger than this one, but it kept sticking on itself, and I was trying not to get ink all over me, and I should have just let ink get on me. The ink did stain the transfer a little bit, but the mesh area is completely clear, so it's not going to impact it in the future. And this does feel really sticky. Feels normal though. So hopefully I got one of the good ones and not one of the... They do certain quality control checks on things, and there were 3 of the new transfers that they just weren't satisfied with, so they pulled them, but some had already gone out, obviously. So they're going to resend anybody who got the old ones as a precaution. They're going to resend them once the new stock comes in, because they don't want to put out that product. All right. So when you're laying your transfer down on the reusable boards, if a piece of it sticks and you can't get it up, or you're like fighting it, don't put it down, fuzz it some more. Learn from my mistake and don't make the same mistake. And this lays pretty much perfectly in here, top to bottom, so it makes it super easy to line up. And the little edges are up, so I'll be able to get a good grip on it because it's the Odette board that's curvy. The Sylvian, so the Aiden board's got the thick frame around it, nice fancy looking one, and it's the magnetic board. The Sylvie was the one behind me that has the heaven on it, which is square. It's got the white, it's not as wide of a border around it, as you can see behind me, and it's not a magnetic board, so it's less expensive. It's pretty similar, and I really like the Odette boards. They're nice. And they're lighter too, so if you're worried about, I mean, they're solid, but they just feel lighter. Okay, push my ink to the side because I'm not going to use my ink on this, and I don't want to accidentally grab the wrong jar. Don't need my scissors anymore. Okay, so I just need to decide what colors I want to use. And if I want to do different colors or not. So I've got the frame around the edge, the 4 corners. So I could probably do that in a green maybe. Or do the general store in green. Then what will I do on the outside? Now if I did red, that's red and green, that's Christmassy. I don't want it to look Christmassy. I think I'll pull out my silver, my shimmer silver, and use that. Either that or I've got my copper. I'll go with the silver. I haven't used the shimmer silver on anything yet. I've used the metal on a lot of stuff. So I think I'll do the frame and everything on the outside in green. And then I'll do the general store in silver. And hopefully that'll look good. Okay. A couple of my squeegees out, a couple of my stir sticks. And let's see. It's been a while since I've used the green. I think it looks good. One side of it's a little thick, so I'm just going to add a little water into it because it has been a while. It's been buried to the bottom. And I did use the green a lot at Christmas time. So, I mean, I still have a lot in there, but this is one of the jars that I've used the most of. nice and creamy. Usually about the texture of yogurt or sour cream. A nice whipped up frosting, Cool Whip kind of stuff. Oops. Somehow I got on my finger. Alright, so since this is such a huge transfer, as I'm doing it, I'm going to go across and then I'm going to pull it up and give it a second to dry before I do the next one. Because if I did the entire transfer, by the time I get to the bottom, the stuff at the top is going to already dry. And then it'll start to stick in the mesh screen, and I don't want that to happen. So, I'll start with this. I'm just trying to pay attention to how I'm going so that I don't go in an area, grab a color that I want to put in silver by mistake in green. If you're putting it on and it feels like it's thick, then you need to add a little water to it. That's really, I've never had that be a problem with the shimmer, and the new paste formula likely is not going to need it as well. But if for some reason you get any of the old paste formula, or you get paste from somebody, or a paste packet that might be the older style, just something to be aware of. Some colors are retired, so if you're ever looking around and there's a color that you want, and you find it somewhere else because it's sold out, those likely are going to be an older paste formula. So it's nice and sticky, and I'm pulling up just a little. How one little area that is. So you can always lay it right back down. Push from the bottom up. There's some areas that look like it was a little thick. I'll put a little extra water in here just in case. Because I'm getting down to the bottom. So in case I pick up any dry stuff in the corner of the jar or something. Make sure it's extra creamy. It just looks like it wasn't a fine line, so I'm just going to go over a little area again and then pull it up. Hoping that that fixes what I look like it was an issue. So get my silver out while I've got that drying. And the new paste formulas have the little seal for your protection seal on them. It's a foam seal, so you'll take the foam seal off and you'll stick it in the lid, because it will continue to help keep your paste protected from air and stuff. I'm making a mess of my fingers tonight for some reason. Okay. I'm just going to grab the stuff off the lid first. See, I'll make it a little bit easier. And I'm not wasting what's on the lid and it won't dry out. Usually stuff ends up on the lid, just like anything else in transit, or if you tip a jar over, even if it's like spaghetti sauce, you tip a jar over, it sticks to the lid on the inside. Basically the same concept. This is nice and shiny and sparkly. I don't know if you can really tell that. This is the first time I've used the silver. I had like little paste packets of it At Christmas time, I had a little gold one and a little silver one. And they looked good too. I just wasn't able to really do a big, huge surface. The letters themselves have the tealish color transfer in them because to give it the distressed look. I think I'm going to do open dahlia green though, because I kind of like how that looks. A little different from the silver. I'm just going to pull up, so it's already up in the section I did before. I'm just going to pull up another section as evenly as I can. I'm going to fix my little corners there. So the little, I don't know what you call them on the edge here, in the corners, the little extra added design, that started to dry before I lifted it up on that corner. So I'm just pushing it back down, holding the squeegee and pushing it back in that back in that direction with nice wet paste on it. And I'll make sure I get down here so I can pull it right up for the whole general area. The general store part. There we go. Trying to pull it up easily without sticking my fingers in it. Oh, the general looks good in silver. Green and silver, good choice. Turns out it was a good choice. Alright, and before I stick this back down, I'm going to give it a second. Just so it's not so wet when I put it back down. Because I don't want this, the sticky part that's so sticky, to mistakenly lay on any of the chalk and then pull it right back up while it's still wet. Oh, I really like that. Sweet. So I didn't push it down or anything, I just set it there. One little bar here in the middle between the general and store. I'm just going to try to get that in green. Usually I don't notice that the shimmers have such a shine to them, but the silver is nice and shiny. I mean, all I can basically see is the glitter, which I love it. Oops, I picked a little piece of green somewhere. Don't try to like stretch the paste out on it. Just go back into the jar and grab a little bit more paste. Remember that you can always wipe up any excess. It's easier to wipe up the excess and put it back in the jar than to not be, try to stretch out your paste and then you pull it up and it looks crappy. just gonna put some fresh green down here so then I can pull it up. My hands are just a mess tonight. I'm gonna grab it this way. Oops. Pulled up a little bit too much on this one side. I haven't done the bottom one yet. Oops, sticking to myself. Okay, so I just got one little part across the bottom to do the green. And I can pull the whole rest of the transfer up. Probably could have mixed my green and silver together for some of it. That probably would have looked pretty good. One thing about the bigger transfers. So when you're first starting out, start with a smaller transfer. This is a C size, which is kind of like double the B size, and B is double the A size. So it's good to start with the A or one of the minis. And usually when we give out sample kits and stuff, they are, sample and mini kits are the little small mini ones to start with, because they're nice, quick, easy. You get a feel for the ink or the paste. I have made a huge, see, it's a good thing I didn't do the rest of the lampshade tonight, because I'm making a huge mess. So it's kind of cute. Old style. I even got paste down here. Wow. Messy tonight. I'm being messy. There's that. Let's see if I can squeeze it in here. Safely dry, I hope. So usually, like within 5 minutes, that'll be dry. And I just stuck my finger on the chalk paste again. I do have my water basin, but my water basin is not big enough for the C-size transfer. I'm gonna spray a little extra water in here because I am getting really low on this meadow. I do have another jar, I just haven't opened it yet. Again, I spray, because it's a jar, I spray in distilled water. Bottled water is okay. So that the air trapped in there, that I just sealed air in there, will, when it tries to take the moisture out of the chalk paste, because it doesn't have one of the nice seal foams like the new ones. So that itself, I don't spray water in it. It's got the foam, so it gives it like an extra air tightness. Whereas this one doesn't have that extra seal on it, and the air trapped in there will try to take the moisture out of the chalk paste. So the water that I just sprayed in it helps keep it moist, but it also is like a decoy for the air, so the air will suck up the extra water on there and not dry out the chalk paste. Oh, my computer shut off. use a stir for the silver because the shimmers you don't usually need to. I'm going to check my board that I waxed. Not bad. Still feels a little tacky, so I'm still going to let it dry. So I'll save the welcome to our porch for a little later, once I know that this is fully dried. It does still feel tacky. Oh, all right, so I guess that's what I'm gonna end with tonight. Was the general store one. The letters are supposed to look like that. They're supposed to look like the nice old general store, like you would see one of those old glass windows and like frosted. It's supposed to look like that. Okay, so like an older style. That's cute. It's cute in a kitchen. It would be cute in a kitchen. Okay. If you can, like the video, share the video, comment that you shared it, or comment anything, questions that you have. I don't know that anybody watches it until, I mean, I can see how many people have looked at the video. I can't see who unless you hit like, comment, or share. And I know I used to watch videos and not hit like, and now I wish I had, so that people would know I've seen them. Okay. All right. Night, everybody.